Hello, this is Carrie with Southern Sass Vinyl. Excuse me. We are going to do another video on how to use Antigro Designer to set up your designs for your custom direct-to-film transfers by the roll. So again, you're going to start out on the website and you'll go to the listing and you'll click Antigro Designer. Okay, and it'll open up another web browser. Always leave your number of sheets set to 1. Okay, and it's going to open up your layout. Just 1 second. Alright, so I got to get this set just right here. Okay, so I'm going to click Add Image, and you're going to upload your files. Remember that you can upload files up to 50 megabytes, and the max amount of files that you can upload is 50. So I'm just going to go to where I have some designs stored on my desktop, and I'm just going to select all of these designs. Remember that the more designs that you select, the longer it's going to take for all of them to upload. And it tells you right here how many you started with and how many are left to process. Alright, so once you get your designs and they're all uploaded, this one's going to take a few seconds because it's a little bit bigger. You're going to go in and you're going to select your first design. You don't have to, whenever you're at the Add Image area, you don't have to select it in this order. You can select it in any order that you want. Okay, so I added that twice, so it's going to come up twice. And if you want to get rid of it, just hit delete. Alright, so I like to be able to see what I'm doing a little bit closer, so I'm going to zoom in. Oops. Okay, so once you have it right there, we're going to come over here, and this is going to show you your dimensions, and I'm using, it's a 12 inch by 12 inch, which works great. Alright, so if you want to reuse this image, you can just hit duplicate image and drag it to the next spot, or you can come over here and hit add image and choose a different image. When you do that, I recommend you hit reset on the control panel. Sorry, that thing makes everything blink. And you get your new design. One of the great things about doing ordering by the roll is that it's a gang sheet, and you can put however many designs will actually fit. So for by the roll, there is a 100-inch minimum, and that is 100 inches in length, not in width. The max width is 12.5 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger so you can see it. I'm just holding down my control and left clicking on my mouse, or you can use the plus button or minus button right here. Okay, so again, you click on it over here in dimensions. It shows you it's 12 by 12. Let me go ahead and space this how I want. You can see the bounding box goes all the way around the design, so you can actually kind of see how you need to space it. Remember that it's best to leave about 1/4 of an inch in between each design, and that's just for the ease of cutting it from the roll. Excuse me. Alright, so when you're looking at your template here, and you're getting everything set up and lined up, oops, that's whenever you actually click on the design. There we go. You're going to notice 2 different lines. You're going to notice this purple line and a blue line. So the purple line is your safety margin. And what that is that is your bleed area. So you want to make sure that all of your designs are in between the purple lines. The blue lines down here is notated as a cutting line. That's actually the edge of the paper, the edge of the film. And that's set at 13 inches. And so every design is able to be, as far as the width, up to 12.5 inches. Okay? So again, but I have this one set at 12 to 12 by 12, and I'm just going to leave that. Alright, so I want to go ahead and add another image, and I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to select reset so that it goes back down and I can easily see my designs. Select it, move it where you want. Okay, now this particular design, I want to go ahead and change the dimensions. So I have it selected, and you can tell you have it selected because it has the bounding box around it and all of these little arrows. And there's two different ways that you can do this. I'm going to go ahead and make my design space a little bit, zoom it in. Alright, so I want to go ahead and make this design as big as I possibly can while it's in this rotation, okay? Never use this or this arrow, only use the one from the corner. That's going to make it go ahead and keep your dimensions equal. Alright, so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up to 12.33 by 9.53. Okay? Now the other way that you can do this is you can hit duplicate selected. It's going to put it back to the top. We're going to pull it down. Again, I'm just going to zoom in so that I can see and y'all can see. Alright, and so for this particular one, I want to make this bigger. So I want to make this a 14-inch width design. So all you're going to do is you're just going to rotate the design, and you can quickly and easily come here. As you can see, it's still showing now that the width is 12.33 and the height is 9.53. So we're going to go ahead and close that. Click on it, and we're going to hit change again. So even though you've rotated this design, Antigro is still showing that the width is here and the height is here. It's fine. Just go ahead and change it. Hit change. And now this design is sized at 14 long by 10.82 in width. Okay? I know that these right here don't automatically change. I'm sorry, but that's just something that you'll have to be aware of. Okay? So once you've gotten that done, remember that you can always come back here, change your layout again, and then use these arrows to put it back down. So now I've changed my design from the 14. That won't open until you hit close. And so now it's at 12.74, which is actually too big. And so we're going to go ahead and just change this to 12.25. Okay, hit change, and it automatically changes the dimensions. You can recenter it, you can leave it up against this line, that's up to you. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's within that purple area. So one thing that I wanted to show you specifically on this video is all the kind of cool things that you can do inside of Antigro Designer. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this design. This is the original right above it. And we're going to come over here to filters. Okay, there's a lot of really cool filters that are built in that are just one click. So specifically, I'm going to use this one right here. Now, as you can see, it completely changed the design. This one right here changes up, you know, just a little bit. It made it a little darker, a little lighter. That one right there changed the contrast on it and kind of made the darks darker and the lights lighter. I'm not really sure what that one is. And then, of course, you have all of these that are, you know, again, all built in. Oops. That again. And anytime you want to remove a filter, it's pretty easy. You just come over here and you click this, and it completely removes the filter. But in this case, I do want to go ahead and leave the filter, and I'm going to choose this one. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the adding text. So this right here is pretty cool also. So on here, we're just going to hit add text. You're going to redo this. I think I want this at, we're going to go with 10 for right now. Nope, that's too small and y'all can't see that. So let's go with 20. That's good. Alright. So right here is where you're going to enter your text. And so I'm just going to put Lucky Mama. Or I'm sorry, just Mama. I'm going to respace this so that it's down here on this. Alright, so over here, these are all of the available fonts that are built into Antigro. So let's just go and find one. And we're going to go ahead and just choose, I didn't like that one, it's thinner than what I wanted. Let's just go ahead and choose this one. Okay, and remember, we're going to be able to adjust all this in a minute, so I'm not too worried about this sizing. Alright, so now we're going to come over here and let's go ahead and choose a color. Now, you can manually type in a hex code here if you have your hex code color chart and you know specifically which color you want. You can also just come down here and choose the pre-built ones. I'm going to go over here, let's see, because I'm trying to find one that kind of sort of matches. Oops, not what I wanted to do. Let's see, I don't like that. So I'm going to go back to that. I'm just trying to find as close to this as what I can. Alright, so we're going to go with that one. So now when you're done with that, you can click off of it, you can click back on it, and you can always use this little sliding bar right here to make it bigger. Alright, so that's where I want it. So now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to add this right here. Right as it kind of over the Lucky. You can add it in the middle, kind of however you want. You kind of look at it this way, it's really hard to see, but let's say that we want to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so that I get a little bit more space here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's look at it. We'll zoom back in. Okay, we're going to click on this because we want to come over here to the color profile again. And let's just go ahead and change up these colors until we find a color that we like. Excuse me. So I kind of like that one. That one. So I like that one. It's going to stand out on that design pretty well. Alright. So we're going to undo that. And when you save it, it's going to save exactly like this. So it's going to save with this design over top of this design. And so it's going to come out as one complete design, and that's exactly how it's going to print. Obviously, it won't have the orange triangle on it. Okay? So that's a pretty cool thing that I really like about Antigro, is you can go in there and add text to your designs. And you can just do a lot of different little things to it. And of course, let's see, hang on one second, let me look. There we go. If you want to duplicate this design, this is going to be where you're going to have to go ahead and hit duplicate. You would have to move this down. Remember that this is not a design software. Yeah, you can do some minor edits in it, but that's not really what it was intended for. Oops, where'd it go? Here it is. We're going to go ahead and pull this down like so. I want to go ahead and duplicate that. Just going to send it back to the top. There it is. Go down with it. Okay. There we go. I'm going to call that centered, even though it probably isn't. So we're going to go over here and we want to just change this a little bit. So we're going to come down here. We're going to come to this pink. So we've changed the back. Now let's go ahead and change this. We kind of want it not so much to match, but we want it to kind of be clear that it says Lucky Mama. Let's see. I really like that. How it has the kind of the orange. And I think I really like that. It's going to be kind of a sepia, if you will. So we're going to leave that as it is, okay? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we don't want to add new text. We're going to go back to images. I'm sorry, graphics. And we're going to add our next graphic, which is this one. Okay, so you give it just a second to pop up. And we're going to pull it down right here. And again, it tells you over here, this is an 11.52 by 12.64 inch design. And I just want to go ahead and add this design. And then we're going to go ahead and add this Born to Be Wild design again. I'm going to click on it. And we're going to go ahead and add it right here. But for this particular one, I want to go ahead and change that sizing. So let's go ahead and zoom in. Give it just a second. Okay. So we're at the end of our sheet. And what I want to do is, and remember that you do not need to mirror this. It will automatically do it once you have confirmed your designs. So all I want to do though is I want to go ahead and I want to rotate it, because I want to use this for a kid design. So I need it to be a little bit smaller. I want to go ahead and hit change. And I'm going to go ahead and remember that whenever you rotate it, these don't change. So now the height is actually 11.52 and the width is actually 12.64. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and change this, and I want to change it to, let's see, I'm going to change it to my youth size, which is 8. Okay, and I want to duplicate it. Oh, shouldn't hit duplicate. That's okay. Scroll down. Zoom back in. Okay. And so for this one, let's say I want to do a toddler. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to a 6. Okay. And now our sheet is totally filled and it's ready to confirm to be printed. Alright. But let's say we want to just kind of do a little bit of changing on this one. Again, you come over here to filters, and you're going to see all of these built-in filters. So I really like this one right here for this particular design. It just kind of changes it a little bit, not a whole lot. You can see. Whenever you click on it, it just changes it. It's just a touch. But you can see that it has all of these different ones. You can change it to black and white. This is a true sepia. And it just has all these little built-in filters. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Kind of like that one too, but I'm going to go ahead and go to... You know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to leave this here. Because I want to show you using the contrast tool how too much contrast totally alters the design. Basically for contrast, I usually do it at between a 3 and a 5. And then same with my saturation, I usually don't do above a 3. And that's going to give you a beautiful color, and it's going to be just slightly different than this one. But not so different that like it's way noticeable. It'd be one of those where you would have to see it side by side to be able to see the differences. And as always, if you don't like it, you come over here and you just hit the X, and that totally takes all the changes completely off of it. And then you can just come down here, and with one click you do the exact same thing that you just did with these sliders. Okay, so I really like the filter tool on here as far as just making quick edits. I like the text tool. It's pretty easy to use. Again, this is not design software. This is just software that is intended to be where you can come up and you can set your print jobs. You know, some people like to set them up themselves in Photoshop, and that's completely fine, and I 100% will accept those. If you choose to do that, you know, you just need to say, hey, I'm not going to do it through Antigro. You know, I want to do it on my own through Photoshop, and that's completely fine. I can take those and insert those into my print software to print. But when you use Antigro, once you hit confirm and everything is ready to go, then it just makes it a lot easier for me, because at that point it's going to automatically load into my queue. And so now your job is, once you hit confirm your designs, we're just going to go here, here, here. I'm just going to select this, and I'm just going to put whatever. You don't have to put any information and additional info. I'm just going to do it so that whenever I go in here to delete those job files, I'll know that those were test files and not real files. Okay, so as always, it brings you back here. You'll of course need to know how many inches. I did times 3, so that would be 300 inches. And right here I would just type in 300, because remember that the quantity is the actual total of inches, and I would hit add to cart. So that's it. So I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I hope it showed you everything that you needed to know about using Antigro, and about how to use some of those, you know, really cool features that they have that'll just kind of do some basic edits on your design once you actually load it here. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can reach me via email at sassyvinylhtv@gmail.com, or by my website, southernsassvinyl.com, and you can just select the Contact Us page at tab at the bottom. Thank you so much.